I was talking about a revelation that I had. I can only call it a revelation. I'm trying to not make it sound so woo-woo or so spiritual, but it was just like something that came to me, a realization, a revelation about door to door. I now made an invitation for anybody who would love to attend the Free and New Friends AI edition. So how to start and grow your friends community for your nonprofit or charity. I also used that episode to talk about, like I said, the door to door revelation, how I use AI to turn it into something written word, how I use AI to make it into a framework, and so on, and then just use it as a way to demonstrate the opportunity that AI gives us to develop the information that comes from us. So the information came straight from me, but then by interacting with AI, and I showed you some things here and there. Now, and I ended that call, and then I now saw that I asked AI a question. I said, how can I teach this? That's the door to door thing that I just learned. How can I teach this as an instruction to someone who wants to build a friends community? How can I use this door to door revelation, this demonstration of linear growth and quantum growth or exponential growth? How can I use it to teach somebody who wants to grow a friends community? Because if you grow a friends community for your non-profit or for your charity, a friends community you call it a club, you can call it a group, you can call it a network, you can call it friends, you can call them partners, you can call them champions, whatever you want to call them. But to grow one, how do we use this to help them? So the lesson, door to door, linear growth. Key idea, faithful connection over times creates trust and belonging. So when you are building a friends community, you start just like a door-to-door messenger. One conversation, one invitation, one story at a time. You hear no just as much as you hear yes, and that is normal. Every no just means this door isn't ready. Move on, clean. Don't take it personally. Don't carry rejection from one door to the next, because what you are really building is momentum. Every knock, every conversation, every follow-up email trains your community muscle. So the practical instruction is reach out, and this is what I will teach you if you come for the class. Reach out individually to your contacts, your warm contacts first. Always start with the people that you know, your circle of influence, then a wider circle, and then you use the internet. So use stories and shared values as your key. That's how doors open. And don't chase people, invite them. You need to invite them, you need to attract them. So that's the door to door. You're doing the unscalable things. You're making the phone calls. You're writing the letters. You're sending the individual email. It's not a blast of email to 1,000 people, but you're sending one email to one person at a time to say, I would like you to become a friend of my organization. This is why we need friends. This is what you would get if you partner with us, and that kind of thing. It's beautiful. That's the thing. It doesn't sound very sexy, but it is very elegant. It's very elegant. It's a one-on-one thing, but it might just be a letter, email, or a phone call, or even a WhatsApp message. You say, I'm forming a friends group or a partners group or a supporters club or whatever for our nonprofit, and I think you would be a great addition to the people, to the community. Here is your invitation. Click this link to join us. So that is that. And then there's actually even also a scripture lens. And let us not grow weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. This is such a beautiful scripture that really just reflects the whole ethos of creating, or at least the way that I would always suggest that you create your friends group. Do not grow weary, for in due season you shall reap. So having a vibrant friends community of 1,000 people, that when there's an emergency and you say one of the people, one of our service users or one of our whatever needs a helicopter to fly them to the hospital, specialist hospital, for a face transplant. That just came out of nowhere, and then you just send an email and the donations come pouring in. because you have this group of people that you have bonded with. They know you, they like you, they trust you, they believe in what you're doing, and they are ready to support you with their words, their actions, with their funds, with their connections, and all that kind of thing. All this to say, it's not an overnight thing, but as this Bible passage says, it says, in due season we shall reap if we don't get tired. So do not be weary in doing that well, reaching out to that one person, to that next person, to that next person. Yeah. So number 2, door within door. So every connection contains the potential for multiplication. I think I should save this actually. I don't think I want to share it for free, but I'll do it anyway. Wow. Okay. So anyway, doors within doors, dimensional goals. The key idea is every connection contains the potential for multiplication. Once you've built trust door by door, you start to see doors within doors. So one friend introduces another. One conversation leads to a partnership. One small event opens a new circle of influence. In fact, one friend, one member could open up a new circle of influence. And one conversation can lead to the introduction to another conversation. It's such a beautiful meshing together of people where people become more than the sum of their parts. It's such a beautiful thing. And that's when your organization becomes this living, breathing thing that develops a life of its own and develops a personality of its own. It is so beautiful. So anyway, so that is the doors within doors, dimensional growth. It's not something that you have to manufacture, but it's something that you can nudge along, and I will show you how to do that. So a practical instruction is look for connectors, people who can open new doors for your community. So you would look for them. Once they've joined, you find there are different ways that you can identify them. You can host experiences where your existing members bring one friend, mocktail nights, walking challenges, etc. You can use stories from your current members to open new doors. So testimonials are like almost keys to doors. And then focus on small but deep. And then as time goes on, you then expand. You expand. In scripture says, to him who has more will be given. To him who has more will be given. It's really a case of being faithful with what you have, taking care of the few people. I keep thinking about this and I'm like, you can't say we have only 17 people in our friends group. Whether it's 17 people or 700 people or 70,000 people, you have to take care of the people. You have to treat them like they are people, not numbers in your email service provider. So every open door leads back to purpose. So the goal of your friends community isn't just to get more members. It is to create a place where people feel seen, known, and connected to purpose. So every door, you can look at every person as a door, and every door is sacred. When you build from that awareness, your community becomes more than a network. It becomes a movement. Practical instruction: celebrate small beginnings and with gratitude, keep the purpose front and center, remind people why they belong, create rhythms, like we're talking about our welcome sequences now, nurturing, empowering people, giving them also a voice, releasing them to also become leaders within your community, that kind of thing. That's it anyway. So again, the way AI now is like when you give it an idea and it tells you what you want to tell you, it's going to suggest. So should I go ahead and turn this thing that you've just created into this other thing, and then you start getting more ideas and more applications. Almost like we're going back to the basics. This is the basics. This is the basics of making friends, of inviting people, of saying, hello, I would really like you to join. Would you like to join? We're doing something here. Would you like to join? It's as simple as that. In the world of online marketing, where it comes to like email marketing, we have this thing called a lead magnet. And the lead magnet, it all comes down to one thing: give somebody something in exchange for their email address. With the friends community and starting your friends group, we don't do it that way. We don't say, oh, here, let me try and bribe you for something. It is rather an invitation. So it's by invitation, not by invitation like exclusivity, but by invitation, by reaching out to people and saying, this is who we are, this is what we do, this is why it matters, and this is what we're trying to put together, this group of people who are going to be our supporters, our donors, our advocates, and then we would like you to be part of what we're doing. Sign up here, yes or no. It's almost like what little kids used to do when they pass notes, and you be my girlfriend. And then there's a box that says yes, and there's a box that says no. And then you just choose the one that you want. And if you say yes, then now we're boyfriend and girlfriend. And if you say no, then well, pass the notes to somebody else. So that's it. My message for today. I promise you I will be getting better at this. I will do it the way that the experts say we should do it. But this is me, unscripted, unplanned, untrained as a YouTuber, but expert at creating friends networks for nonprofits. If you're able to make the workshop, or if you watched this before the workshop, see you there at the New Year, New Friends workshop on the 19th of February, AI edition. I call it AI edition because we're going to be using one or two custom GPTs which I've created using my framework so that you can create your assets, your friends network assets very easily. Your invitations, your welcome emails, all those communication assets, and even your landing page and all that kind of thing. You can create them very easily with those custom GPTs that I've created on the ChatGPT platform. So if you're able to, or you see this before then, New Year, New Friends, AI edition, 16th of February. Hope to see you there. If you see this afterwards, there may be a replay, there may be another workshop coming up in a few weeks. Just check somewhere around here on this screen, and hopefully we will be able to work together soon. So have a good evening. Thank you very much for your time. I do not take it for granted, and I hope to talk to you again soon. Bye.